Hi and welcome to Drummers Review. I'm Nolly and today we're going to be taking a look at a selection of Zildjian K-Custom Special Dry cymbals. Zildjian originally released the Special Dry cymbals as a limited edition small range over 10 years ago, and they're now revisiting that range with a much larger selection, no doubt in response to the wide popularity of these dark, dry, crunchy cymbals that we're seeing from a lot of manufacturers at the moment. The setup that we're going to be reviewing today features a 21-inch ride, 14-inch hi-hats, a 19-inch crash, and a 17-inch trash crash. In terms of RRP, the hats come in at £489, the ride at £425, the crash is £385, while the trash comes in at £319. But in general, looking at retailers, all of these cymbals are going for about 15 or 20% cheaper than those prices. These cymbals have been designed to have very notable characteristics, so let's take a listen to how they fare in a few different contexts before we come back for a bit of discussion afterwards. Unboxing the cymbals, we were struck by how light they are, and that light weight combined with the raw finish results in very low-pitched, slightly trashy, short cymbal sounds with minimal high overtones. Starting with the hi-hats, there is a ton of stick definition here. The sound is low-pitched, it's a bit lo-fi and crunchy, with a quick fall away and sustain, and that quick fall away and sustain meant that I didn't particularly enjoy the sound when they were ridden open, but they did sound awesome when played closed and opened for bark accents. The ride had similar strengths and weaknesses, with a lot of articulation and a low-pitched wash that was really easy to encourage out of the cymbal, but didn't necessarily lend itself too well to being crashed. The very small-sized bell was a little bit underwhelming, not offering much of an escalation in intensity, but at the same time it's clear that the cymbal is designed in such a way that soft volume subtlety is a lot more important than loud volume and cut. The crash has a sharp attack that fades away quickly, but leaves behind a low-frequency wash that actually sustains for a decent time afterwards. There's a lot of nuance to be found when played softly. It even works quite well as an alternative ride sound, but we did find as you started to hit harder it reached its volume limit quite quickly, kind of as you'd expect from such a thin crash cymbal. The trash crash was somewhat of an enigma actually for us. In person it's quite harsh and papery, but through the microphone actually translated as a very usable effects cymbal. It's a short, loud burst of white noise, not entirely unlike a China cymbal in some ways, and fulfills a unique role within this particular set. To us, there's really two camps of drummers that might be interested in cymbals like these. You've got players who might want to recreate the kind of warm, old-school, crunchy sounds of old breakbeats and jazz recordings. And then you've got more modern drummers that are simply in the market for more characterful cymbals, something a little bit off the beaten path. These cymbals would be really great gigging cymbals in acoustic or soft playing environments, where their dark and quiet tones won't step over the other instruments. And similarly, they'd be really good for recording too, where in the controlled studio environment you'd be able to appreciate all of the subtlety in the lower volume playing. The weathered and earthy look of these cymbals makes a strong visual statement, and there's no doubt in our minds that the eye-catching aesthetic is a part of the appeal that players see in these kinds of cymbals. Beyond the post-apocalyptic finish, these cymbals feature heavy hammering and extensive lathing, while the trash crash goes even further with a large number of small holes being cut into the bow area to give a particularly trashy sound. The stenciling on the cymbals looks great, and the undersides are left traditionally finished, which, alongside the ever-recognizable K logos, which all let you know that these cymbals are still part of one of the most highly regarded cymbal ranges of all time. Those who are not a fan of this kind of cymbal sound might find the cost prohibitive, but they are in fact priced fairly when you compare them with similar offerings from other major manufacturers. Barring the trash crash, we can't really see any of these cymbals sitting well alongside an existing, more traditional set of cymbals, so if you're into how they sound, you're probably going to want to investigate a whole set. But what do you think? Leave us a comment to let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to be notified of future videos, and I'll see you next time at Drummers Review.